What's going on, guys? This is Daygs with an updated deck profile. This is my Yosenju Kaiju build, just with the new support. I thought I'd sauce those bad boys in and do an update for you. I do have a different side deck. I do have a little bit of a different extra deck, and for the most part, I do have a little bit of a different main deck. So let's just get right into it. So I play still the standard 3-1, the better Yosenju pretty much, bouncing your opponent's cards. Still 2-2. I see it floating around at 3. I prefer 2 simply because it's not that great. You can play 3 just to see it a little bit more, but I stick with 2 personally. 3-3. He is your searcher, so combining him with another Yosenju, and this is really only where 2 can be useful, is attacking directly with 3 on board and getting your search. And I play 1 Sujik, which is basically just like a Kalute. You have him on board with you, and you can kind of bump up a Yosenju to an extra 1,000. So those are the Yosenjus. Moving on to the Kaijus, I play 2 of the Thunder King. He's basically like a walking Majesty's Fiend. He's also a 3300 beater, and he can attack twice when you use his effect as well. So he's pretty Gucci. 2 Jizakuru. His effect isn't that great. He just basically negates a card that targets exactly 1 card, which isn't fantastic. I mean, I guess it's situational, but definitely his attack being 3300 makes up for that. So keep him around just for shenanigans. 2 Doggeron. Still a really good card, basically a Raigeki, just blowing shit up on your opponent's side of the field. In my opinion, the better Kaiju, Gamma Seal. Very controversial card, mainly because of the fact that you want to be super careful with when you give your opponent Gamma Seal. Generally speaking, you only give your opponent Gamma Seal if you don't have any Kaiju counters on the field, and you don't have Mecha Dorogon anymore. That's the only time I would really give Gamma Seal to the opponent, but it's a solemn warning pretty much, so you have to be really careful with that, and can be used during either player's turn. And then the one is I play 1 Radiant, which is pretty much like a Gorz, gives you token, and 1 Mecha Dorogon. Mecha Dorogon is actually pretty good. When it first came out, I wasn't too thrilled on the card, but it's actually good on both sides of the field. If it's on your side of the field, you can combo it off and make it a relinquished. If it's on your opponent's side of the field, after Kaiju Slumber, it's 0 attack, and you can just run over it with Thunder King. And then if you have Kaiju counters, remove that and then attack again for another 33. So those are the Kaijus. Moving on to the spells. I play 3 Tenki. I bumped this up to 3. Just to really see it more, and it's been working out. Generally speaking, you're not really going to be using 3. The duels don't really last that long, but yeah, it's definitely just to search out your Yosenjus. Works wonders. Bump this up, a Waterfront to 3. I was playing Chicken Game in this as well with 2 Waterfront. A Chicken Game's no longer with us. May you rest in peace.
Screw that fucking card.
I don't know, I thought it was a pretty good kick card.
But 3 Waterfront, you definitely want 3 just to see it more, especially with Kaiju files, just being able to kind of add on Kaiju counters. Definitely fun times, and then 2 Terraforming, just to really help out with that. The Kaiju spells, I play 2 Kaiju Slumber. I was thinking about bumping it up to 3. I might rethink that simply because of the fact that it may force you out of Kaijus a little bit quicker. But 2 is working out relatively well. Just 3 mainly because I'd want to see it a little bit more maybe. But it's definitely a really good card. And then 2 of the Kaiju files, which is another really good card as well. Basically you want Kaiju files to have 3 counters on it, so you can get rid of it and then bring a Kaiju Slumber, nuke the field, and then go off on your combos, giving your opponent a Mecha Dorogon at 0, giving yourself a Thunder King at 33, removing 3 counters from Waterfront, attacking twice, trying to deal 66 damage. That's generally what you'd like to do. And then the one-ofs, I play one Twin Twister. I play the one Twin Twister mainly because there's not really a lot of negotiating room to kind of play MST. Generally, I don't want to be discarding a lot of things, but sometimes you do have dead draw like terraforming, or if you have an extra waterfront that you don't happen to need because you can push for game or whatever. Twin Twister, kind of like two MSTs really. And a Dark Hole and a Raigeki. Dark Hole doesn't really hurt you too much, and Raigeki doesn't hurt you at all. But just field damage or blowing up the field is nice. So those are the spells. And then moving on to traps, I play 2 Remove Brainwashing. I would like to get 2 Owner's Seal for this deck. That's definitely one card that, in my opinion, is a need. And borderline necessity, a staple for the main deck. Remove Brainwashing is great, but I think definitely having 2 Remove Brainwashing than 2 Owner's Seal would be amazing. Just the thing with Owner's Seal is it happens to be a spell card. So the spell card doesn't necessarily get blown over by a Twin Twister or an MST, like Remove Brainwashing could very easily get blown over. So definitely would prefer Owner's Seal with the 2 Remove Brainwashing. Moving on, 2 Call of the Haunted. Your Kaijus can be special summoned. There's some people that think they can't be, but they can be, or even if you want to get a Yosenju from your grave to go off into a quick rank 4, you can always do that, but yeah, generally speaking, this deck is very offensive, so you're going to want to get out a bigger Kaiju and kind of press for more damage. And then the one-outs, I play 1 Quaking Mirror Force, mainly because if your opponent has your own Kaiju, you don't want to destroy it. You don't, more times out of less, you want to be able to get that Kaiju back on your side of the field, so kind of having that flip face down and then being able to bring it back over somehow is a little bit better than just getting rid of it. And then Solemn Strike, because, I mean, what beats Cancer? Moving on to the extra deck, I play 1 Utopia the Lightning, 1 Utopia. Certainly helps, again, for maximum damage. Utopia is really only there for Utopia the Lightning. I don't know if people just play Utopia by itself anymore.
Shut the fuck up.
No.
Yeah. But yeah, it's for Utopia the Lightning. Heartland Draco, simply there just to kind of attack directly, and it's kind of a major theme with the extra deck, is you just want to basically end the game as quickly as possible, and that tends to happen. Either you lose really quickly or your opponent loses really quickly. 1 Gagaga Cowboy, again, just for dealing damage. Daigasto Emerald to recycle your monsters. Diamond Crab King, his effect is actually pretty good, bumps him up to 3,000. Ouroboros, he has some pretty decent effects, and he's actually relatively easy to make in this deck. I haven't had a lot of experiences with him, but I throw him in there just for the options. Abyss Dweller, because he's a total bitch. 101, he's a bitch. Tiger King, again, another card that I generally wouldn't necessarily go for primarily, but he's in there just for the variety. Same with Ragna Zero. Castel solves problems. Phantasmal, same thing as Dracoland, Heartland. Attacking directly, that's pretty much it. And then I play the 2 Lightning Chidoris just to deal with shit, and because they're wind. Or the Yosenjus are wind. Moving on to the side deck, I decided to keep Thunder King. I don't have Fossil Dyna in the deck anymore. I was really debating between one of the 2. I just think Thunder King is a little bit better than Fossil Dyna. Really, the only thing Fossil Dyna is good for, because they technically do the same thing, is if it's flipped, you destroy all your opponent's monsters. But I like Thunder King a little bit better. Denko Sekka, kind of the same idea, with a little bit of anti-spell fragrance flavor to it. Again, just stalling. DD Crow, because it fucks up your opponent's graveyard, Monarchs and BAs. Ghost Ogre, just an all-around good side deck card. 2 MST, just in case you are playing a deck that is heavy in back row. You'd probably take out like a Quaking and maybe like a Terraforming, if anything, or maybe even a Tenki to add in the double MST to get rid of that back row. 2 Iron Wall, because it fucks up decks that banish. Cosmo. 2 Magic Deflector, because that's a thing now. 1 Vandy's Emptiness. It's good really in any deck, to be honest with you. I even play it in Psy-Frames and it's still super good. And 1 Drowning. Drowning is just kind of there. You can alternate between Drowning and Quaking. I definitely would, for the most part, would say Drowning is a better main deck card than Quaking, but I think in this deck, I think Quaking, in my opinion, is better than Drowning, but Drowning is still there just for the options. Anyways, guys, that is the new Yosenju Kaiju deck. Try it out. It's still very good. It's still pretty much the same as far as if you're not opening in your first 2 hands, you're probably going to die. But if you do have something, most of the time it's hard for your opponent to get around for the most part, and you can kind of always continue on with the consistency of just tributing their monsters, and it fucks up a lot of shit. So try it out, test it out. Don't forget to rate, comment, and subscribe.